The headlines: Water Authority battles more outages, 4 more quakes recorded off Barbados, and Sunil Narine returns to the West Indies side. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, September the 29th, 2015. You know the saying, if it isn't one thing, it's the next. That seems to be the case with the Water Authority, which is being buffeted by residents' complaints about outages and a lack of communication. The latest have come from St. Lucie and St. Peter. BWA spokesperson Joyanne Hay says problems with the Lamberts and Half-Acre reservoirs in St. Lucie were rectified a couple of days ago, but a new problem has been discovered at 2 St. Peter reservoirs. Areas such as Datetree Hill in St. Peter and Pycona and Mount Gay in St. Lucie have been without water, but Ms. Hayes says they are being serviced by tankers. She also reported problems with the Fort George Newmarket reservoirs on the St. Michael-St. George corridor and 2 burst mains in St. John, one of which caused the closure of the Lodge School. You wouldn't have felt any of them, but mild earth tremors have been continuing northeast of Bridgetown. The latest 4, yes 4, occurred within 6 hours, and add those to 3 on Sunday. Seismologists have been warning the Eastern Caribbean to prepare for a big earthquake. They just don't know when it will happen. The Moravian Church is celebrating 250 years in Barbados, with Bishop-elect of the Eastern West Indies, Conrad Spencer, urging members not to rest on their laurels. Speaking during a service at Sharon Moravian Church, he said Moravians have contributed significantly to the social, educational, and economic landscape of Barbados. The Moravians arrived here in 1765 with plans to Christianize and educate the slave population. The Moravians were the first missionaries to actually allow slaves in their congregation. Acting Prime Minister Richard Seeley attended Sunday's celebration service.
My hope this evening is that individually and collectively you will continue to play your part in developing better communities for a better Barbados. This historic event can't be a bit of a watershed. You can now make some strategic choices about your mission, the growth of your influence of the gospel in lives of Barbados. You can take, as they say in cricketing terms, fresh jar.
The Rural Development Commission has held the latest in a series of workshops to help its clients to better run their businesses. The latest was for farmers, about 20 of whom attended. Agricultural Officer Roy Clark advised them on how to handle their produce after harvesting in an effort to minimize losses. Students of St. Ambrose Primary have been learning about firefighting. On Monday, they visited the nearby Probin Street fire station during an open day. The day formed part of the Fire Service's Diamond Anniversary Week of activities. Up next is this week's commentary on Monday's flooding.
For many Barbadians, it was a Monday to remember. The rains came and created quite a bit of havoc in many areas in Bridgetown and its outskirts. But fortunately, there was no serious damage to people or property, and by late Monday night, most of the water had run off. Barbadians had much for which to be thankful. Yet there's a lot about which we must complain. Take the misuse and abuse of plastic bags, which apparently created much of the havoc in some areas. This was particularly true in the Halls Road area. Residents had to remove the grills off the drains and get plastic bags, cups, and food containers out of the way. The indiscriminately dumped items had blocked the free flow of the water. Our bad habits had come to haunt us.
In sport, Jack Warner has been banned from football for life. The announcement was made by the Ethics Committee of FIFA. The committee said Mr. Warner was found to have committed many and various acts of misconduct continuously and repeatedly during his time in the high-ranking positions at FIFA and CONCACAF, which governs the sport in this region. In response, the Trinidadian said FIFA was trying to take attention away from its own problems, citing President Sepp Blatter, who is the subject of a criminal investigation in Switzerland. Mr. Warner and 13 other soccer officials and sports marketing executives have been indicted in the United States on bribery, money laundering, and wire fraud charges. There's been much talk about the West Indies one-day team to Sri Lanka, given the controversial remarks by suspended coach Phil Simmons, but the team has only been announced in the past few hours. Off-spinner Sunil Narine is back for the ODI and T20 leg of the tour. It was confirmed that Dwayne Bravo and Kieran Pollard will be missing for the 3 ODIs, but they have been picked in the squad for the 2 T20s. You can get the full tour party and the match schedule on nationnews.com. And finally, police in the American state of Maine said a small dog was to blame for driving its owner's pickup into a lake by knocking the vehicle out of gear. The Ellsworth Police Department said the Yorkie's owner had been walking the dog around Branch Lake on Saturday afternoon, and he put the canine back into his pickup truck while it was idling. A spokesman said the dog knocked the truck out of gear and it rolled down the parking lot into the lake. The Ellsworth Police Department said in a Facebook post the dog was rescued from the submerged pickup by a woman who was a friend of the owner. Police said the pickup was fished out of the lake by a towing crew, but the vehicle was considered a total loss. And that's Nation News for Tuesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Midweek Nation on Wednesday or subscribe to our e-paper.